Welcome to This Week in Vexly. Starting off, we will review our trade ideas from last week's video. First idea we had from last week was a long on BAC. Our market maker model signaled long, but Pluto was neutral going into the week. We also wanted to see 29 act as support going into the week based on the positioning we saw last weekend. This week BAC positioning rolled lower, and we saw price break below 29, which signaled no trade to be made. From Monday's open to low of week, BAC had a drawdown of 3.7%. For our next idea, we liked NFLX as a long last week. Our market maker model was long, and we saw on our gamma profile that 400 should act as the floor for the week, which it did. From Monday's open to high of week, NFLX was up 8.57%. Next, let's look at our Fed and liquidity recap from last week. Starting with CB swap lines, we have seen a flattening in trend and over the last few weeks. Next, we have overnight repo auctions, where we haven't seen anyone buying in the last week. Finally, we have the Fed's balance sheet, which has continued on its asset tapering. Next, let's review our market view returns. Last week we mentioned returns were so negative, and at a point where we typically see a reversion. Looking at this week's returns, we can see we got a bounce on SPY and QQQ, which returned a positive return. But we saw IWM lagging with a negative return. Now let's review our heat maps from Friday's close. Remember to pause the video and review price action from Friday's close and try to identify points of interest for Monday's open. Here are the heat maps for ES, NQ, and RTY. Now let's get into our ideas for the week ahead. First idea we like for the week ahead is a short on Microsoft. Our market maker model is short, but Pluto is currently neutral, but close to a buy signal. This being said, we see a chance for Microsoft to bounce into resistance and then signal a short. Moving to our gamma profile, we can see peak positive is set at 330 and peak negative is set at 320. Seeing this, we will look for price to bounce to 330 for a short entry this week. Moving to our Vanna profile, we have peak positive at 330 and peak negative set at 300. Scrolling down, we have our P1 skew, which is slightly negative for the week, but looking at P2 skew, we can see call side is overpriced and will likely be drained this week. Next, here are the weekly returns for Microsoft. Lastly, we have our VX levels, which has phantom wicks higher and lower, but the most recent wick is pointing higher to 330. For our next idea, we like Meta as a long this week. Our market maker model is neutral, but has a bullish squeeze rating due to price and current positioning. Pluto is currently neutral, but is close to a buy signal, which we will be watching for this week. Moving to our gamma profile, we can see peak negative and positive positioning is set at 290. This is what is causing the squeeze rating on our model due to price being below peak negative gamma. We should see 290 act as a magnet this week. Next, we have our Vanna profile, with peak positive at 305 and peak negative at 260. Next, we have our P1 skew, which is flat for the week, and here are the weekly seasonal returns for Meta. Lastly, we have our VX levels, where we saw a phantom wick down to 275 after Friday's close. But we also saw a bid at 275 on Friday, so a retest of that area would be something to watch and provide a possible long entry. That's it for this week. To recap, Fed liquidity still remains poor, and we haven't seen any real changes in trend. As for our weekly ideas, we like Microsoft as a short if price stays below 330, and we will look to target 320. For our second idea, we like Meta as a long and want to see price stay above 275 for a move to 290 and possible 300. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe for more.